Okay. 2 was Joe's. I was kind of iffy on that one. You know what I'm saying? And I'm iffy on that because I'm being true to why Bergen's number 1. If you go to bed a loser, you wake up a loser. Joe's was 6 and 5. I don't care who they got coming back or whatever. You got to win, right? I'm real big on. I'm not giving you nothing until you earned it.
And believe it or not, Coach is on the hot seat with this one. This year right here, this is a hot seat year.
Yeah. You're giving me new news.
Yeah.
You're giving me new news.
I mean, I ain't get this from the school, and I don't want them to be saying, keep it a buck, got me in a hot seat. It's hot seat year because it's do or die for Joe's. I'm saying this right now. If Joe's don't win,
the whole thing?
They gotta win.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
We just said Bergen's the number 1 team.
That's what we said.
Oh, so you didn't really believe that?
I'm saying.
So now we getting into something else. So you didn't really believe that. You just talking. You chatting. As we say in New York. You chatting. Keep it a buck. We here in the studio.
A lot of these offers don't be that real, so it's not committable.
That feel like when everybody's getting their turn and it's not yours. What they call you? The Godfather of New Jersey.
Powerful man. I ain't gonna brag, but that's what they said. I ain't say that.
We lit. It's that time of the year. Very excited about this one, man. It's that preseason, you know.
Yeah.
This is that time where all of that week coming.
Yeah.
Get nipped in the butt, and it's either you here or you leave it, right? So I like this time of the year, man. Today we're gonna cover, preseason rankings, transfers, the Brick City Jamboree, commitments, local player rankings, man. We're just gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I want to know what happened. We had a big thing. Brick City had the first ever youth jamboree. That Paramus Catholic brought teams from all over. I tuned in. I would have loved to be there. It was 100 and something degrees. So
you know it's hot when Georgia was like, yo, it's hot.
Hold on. Yo, what's it back? We're running back. So also I want to introduce, one of our new co-workers, TT.
It's her debut.
Yeah.
It's her debut. We're gonna get to that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be interesting because she got to hold it down for the females. But Nas, walk us through that, the jamboree, man.
So first and foremost, shout out to my guy, Greg Russo and Paramus Catholic and the school itself, Paramus Catholic, first and foremost, for allowing us to display all that talent in front of the tri-state area and then have Georgia, New York, Staten Island, Dark Chiefs, Beacon House from DC, 215 Extreme from Philadelphia, and then, of course, your Jersey's own, the Brick City Lions. We fell short against Georgia, and Georgia, no excuses. Georgia played 5 games. That was our first bump. We barely could even get a bump hit. So that was our first bump out the gate. They knocked us off 14-6. They stopped us at the goal line. That was heartbreaking.
Hold on. Let's talk about that though, man. What was up with the play calling though? Yo, like y'all got on the goal line, right? It's real simple math, right? Football 1-on-1. There's a lot of things you can go to, right? And I'm going to tell you, I think the secret is out. Everybody around the country know, y'all got Gabe, right? Y'all know that, right? But y'all got some new additions. Yeah. And personally, I felt like y'all could have, once y'all saw, because they was locked in on Gabe.
Yeah.
Anybody that watched that can see that they came up here to make a statement that it's not going to be him, right? And y'all got some other guys that they didn't know about that actually showed up to that day.
Yeah, they did.
You know what I'm saying? We got Simpkins.
We got Simpkins.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I just felt AJ, like I could have counted off of Gabe and did a little more.
Shout out to, we had a kid that really, really showed up. His name is Fahim, Fafa. Amin. And I know his pops is super proud right now. But to be able to watch him just come and play on the big stage like that, he always been on the big stage, but to see him at 13, you could see the kid's development coming from little kid to now I'm that dude, I'm about to go to high school. And he just wasn't letting nobody run past him no more. He wasn't gonna catch a pass. He had 4 interceptions in 3 games and took 2 to the house and made big plays. So shout out to him. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to the line. We had a bunch of kids. 55. His name is Aiden as well. Our quarterback, Ramirez. he really came to play. Like shout out to Gabe always do his thing, but to be able to have people alongside him that's like, yo, look, I got this. I drive the car. Come on, sit in the passenger seat. Let's go for this ride. And that's what Ramir did with the team. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. If I miss anybody else, Warrior, my middle linebacker, 33. Kid is a dog. I can't get his name off the rip right now. That's how my brain be working. But kid like him, Nari, new additions. That's what I'm naming to the team that really held it down, and to see them do that in that atmosphere. But shout out to the show. They performed. They had a big bang out with 215.
Where's the show from?
Staten Island. They that's what I was going live with the other day, but that's another story. They ended up losing the 215, and then that was a showdown. And then Beacon House lost to the Dark Chiefs, I believe. The Dark Chiefs. And then the next day, the Dark Chiefs banged out with the team from Georgia. And then we was beating up on 215 until the rain delay came. They never came back out at the halftime. That's a fact. And then I think the show banged out with Beacon House, but I feel like the show saw those games and was like, oh, I don't really want no smoke with that Brick City team right now. So let's scrimmage. And that's what the back and forth thing came about that. But overall, the tournament was a success first year out the gate. And I was just honored to be able to do something like that in Jersey and then show people what out-of-state football looked like.
Yeah, that was amazing. It was dope. Shout out to y'all.
So what it look like going forward? Is this like an annual thing?
Oh, every now next year is going to go bigger and bigger. Now we're going to invite more teams. I think we're going to take more trips as well. So next year my nine's going to go to Vegas. So then California can meet us in Vegas. Arizona can meet us in Vegas. Utah, different things. I just want to see. I want to take the kids to see different parts of the world playing football, but at the same time represent New Jersey out of state. And then those kids out there get a chance to say, damn, I played against this kid from New Jersey. He won number 20-something. And then how social media is now, they already know who he is. They can follow him and then be friends from a distance. So that's what I'm kind of trying to I want to do with that. I want to just change the culture here at home and make it more like when you go out of state to Georgia, California, football a little more serious.
That's dope. I like that. I feel like that may even transition into what we talk about the Southwest kind of football versus North. So starting them so early, or let them be seen so early. That's going to be good for the kids.
So when you say South, East, West, breakdown, let them into what we be talking about.
Okay.
No.
So, my theory is that with certain positions, I'm not going to say all positions, not all positions, they definitely heavily recruit in the South and the West. Mm-hmm. And North football doesn't get respected for certain positions.
Jeez, call it out. What positions?
I would definitely say,
why?
No, let her go.
Okay.
She's going to get what positions and why.
So, okay, let's talk about the wide receiver position, right? That's my position. I study that one up and down, right? Okay, so they believe, I guess, I talked to different coaches and they say, well, it's easier and safer to go ahead and recruit a kid from the South that is not, it doesn't check the boxes, not 6 feet, maybe they run maybe a 4.6, 4.5, whatever, right? From the South, okay. Right? And it's okay because they trust it. Their job is not going to be on the line. That came from a college coach. Now, if they come and they recruit a kid from the North, a wide receiver from the North, and he's say 5, it's Northeast, so 5'10", right, 5'11", and he becomes a bust, that's his job.
Which makes sense, right? Yeah. Because the way they're looking at that is there's a long history of athletes from the South being successful at this level and going pro, right? Not so much in the Northeast, right? So it's kind of like if I go up here and I get Nas, and Nas is from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, he's 5'11", 6 feet, he runs a 4.6, 4.7, and he don't pan out, I'm like, hold on. You went past Georgia, Texas, California, Florida, even Virginia. You went to New York and New Jersey to bring me that back?
Right.
Like, what do you know? So they're in their mind, it's like I can say if a kid from Georgia or Cali or Florida bust, it happens. No big deal, right? Because we know the product they put out. Right. This is perception. Not saying this is true, but this is the perception. And
whatever
so she's saying you guys can change that.
Right. By now, these kids going to Vegas, going to Georgia, going to Cali.
Wow.
You can start seeing them early, letting them know. And it's like, we run too.
Yeah.
Like, we run too.
Yeah.
Definitely. So that I guess that's a big part of it, right? Because of the speed. That's one of the biggest things. We have some kids that can run.
Whatever happened to recruiting just football players? Like,
it don't happen here. That's still going on, right? Just football players, right? Yeah. And let's be honest, because you're probably the one to talk to about that. We can't expect schools from the South that are in regions that's fertile that they win with these kids, right? And these kids go to pros to bypass all that to come here to take that chance, right? We got schools right here that need to get just football players. They won't.
Is that why Rutgers is recruiting those kids from Florida like that?
Rutgers is supposed to do that here, right? The kids, the forgotten kids in Florida, like we got kids right here that can really ball, right? That Rutgers ain't really interested in for whatever reason, right? Because again, maybe it even looks better for them to strike out in Florida opposed to staying here and getting a kid that wasn't a headliner. You get what I'm saying? Like this is a real thing, and it comes up in recruitment, right? If we're gonna be honest, right? You know, I remember when Fred and Augie was at Rutgers. Like one of their pitch was, "Yo, you gotta stay home and represent the home team and all of that, right?" Yeah. But then the flip side of that was, would the home team take somebody that just because they was home, that they wasn't sure, that wasn't winning, that wasn't the top kid? Like, you get what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like, y'all not interested in the kid in this state if he's not the top kid. So why would you expect a kid in the state to be interested in you and you're not the top college, right?
And that's what's happening.
It's an even exchange. Yeah. So when you start talking that fix the garden, you got to be able to say, nah, we look out for home. We look out for home.
Preach.
Look at him. Look at him. Right. Like, these are not the top kids, but look what we did. Jason, Devin McCourty. You know what I'm saying? Ray Rice. Look at what we did, right? So that's when Hamilton, a 5-star, and all those guys, is Gary Nova and these guys is staying home because it's like, this is about home. Right. But this ain't really about home. Is if you can't get the top kid in the state, you run to Florida. That's not about home. That's not home love. Don't try to run on me. Oh, you ain't got no love for the home state. Well, do you?
Right. Right.
So again, I mean, I'm going for a tangent, but like she's saying, realistically, I would love it, but I can't expect, like UCF grabbed a few kids that's mid, right? Yeah. But they got some guys, but they grabbed some mid guys in Florida. I can't expect them to come here and get a guy that's not a nationally named when they got good mid guys there. But what I could expect is, the Temples, the Monmouths, the Rutgers, the Villanovas, the Syracuses, for lack of better, even, the Penn States, to look around and say, like, we're so close that we know you're not a headline kid, but we know what the recruiting services don't know. Because let's be honest, the recruiting services don't know it all neither. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll watch some of the things and you'll see certain situations. You're like, how'd y'all get that? You know, so, let me get it right. Because that coach lied and said that this kid is 6'2" when they're really 5'10", and they're this and corner, and then now they got these offers, so you rank them high, right? Yeah. So, there's room for playing this all, but like the close schools are supposed to know. They're supposed to know, all right, that's Fool's Gold. That one right there. Yeah. That's under recruited. Yeah. Because you're here.
Right. You can, and the loyalty starts. The loyalty starts, and then you have kids saying, like, I'm staying home. And it feels good to stay home. Yeah.
Because you staying with your peoples too, right? Because don't get it twisted. I might be a headliner in the state, but I'm close with Nas. Right. I'm close with TT. You know what I'm saying? And y'all going to Rutgers, and y'all like, yo, let's go. And I'm like, word, I'm looking around. Because this is what Hamilton and Nova and them did. They look, Savon, you going there too? Yeah. And I'm go. Remember that class? I'm going but they were able to look around and see guys that wasn't headliners going pro. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these guys was 11th hour offerees. So the big time kids and y'all winning with them? Oh, wait till we get on there. That's how it was. And this is a Jersey.
But check what Rutgers did though, because at that time they were doing that because they took old boy from Bosco too.
Razon, the wrestling dude. But
Adam.
that's what I'm saying. That was the formula back then. We got away from that. He came back and it was just like headline kids, right? And again, headline kids got options, right?
Yeah.
Rutgers was built on the blue collar kids, the gritty kids, right? You know what I'm saying? And then once you got them and they eating, here come the headliners. You know? But you was really able to say, fence the garden. Like at this point I wasn't living in Jersey, right? We talking back early 2000, 2001, when it was like New York, Rutgers was our school. Like we was up and down that turnpike. Like how dare you look somewhere else? Like that's our shit. You get what I'm saying? You know.
Where we at next?
You know, you want to move on? You want to move on? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so like,
shout out to Rutgers. Like, let's make the change.
Hashtag
make the change.
Every week I'm gonna give you the recipe, bro, and I'm not even charging y'all.
Like
you know what I'm saying? Like that's a free consulting fee. And I really do this thing. Like I be knowing shit. But so Lara, I want to ask a question, right? So preseason's coming. You know what I'm saying? One of the things I'm excited about is the new additions to a lot of teams, like you know the transfers. Like, what transfers really got your attention that you can't wait to see do stuff in their new homes? I mean, we gonna work around.
I'm going right here. This one right here.
It's always. Can I rock real quick about this?
Yeah.
Even when we get the team ranking, I'm gonna tell Paramus Cal I take a lot of heat, bro. Cause everybody like, yo, you every year you talking like this is even before the Russo era, right? You know, even, the last two coaches there, the talent there always made me feel funny about dismissing them, especially when I was there when the times were good and I knew how it felt to be dismissed when I knew we had something. Everybody else like, oh, there ain't gonna be nothing after Jabril. I'm like, I have no idea. Like, this thing is built to last. So maybe I'm a little jaded by that. I'm a little clouded in regards to Paramus Catholic with that. So I'm on the record for saying, I fought hard to have them in our preseason rankings. And again, I had other alumni from other schools that's like, Len, you always doing that. And they've yet to give you 3 games, right? So.
Not this PC team.
If you don't get it done this year, I don't care if y'all have Michael Strahan moving next year.
He got to get it done.
I'm not messing with you.
It'll be it.
Because y'all got everything. Y'all got everything you need. I had a parent from PC ask me.
No, this is his team, though. He even says that. Shout out to Russo. He says that this is his team. He added to his coaching staff. He got younger. You feel me? Then he added my man DB Academy. DB Academy. They got Terrell Vessel.
They got every trainer in the state. Like let's cut it short. Every trainer in the state.
They got TNT. They got everything it is that needs to be to win, and they have the team, and I believe Greg Russo gonna get it done.
Okay, so we're talking about transfers though now. So, I know they got 40 of them, right? Pick somebody you interested in seeing.
I said Kenyon Massey.
Kenyon Massey.
That's at PC. I want to see Issa Salam. They came from Pope John to St. Joe's, and I'm super excited because I feel like this was going to be the year for him, and then for Issa, and because last year he played young, he was under the weight. You see what I'm saying? Size,
heart of a lion.
Yeah, he played, and he had a cast on.
That's why he caught my attention.
You know what I'm saying? He had a cast on, so now for him to come into his junior year with like Train, Makai, all the guys, he's going to be like, I gotta fit in. Like that's his thing. Like yo,
we gonna look to TT to give us some insight. He might not make your list, but we want some insight on that. You know.
I don't know. One thing I'm gonna say is this. I don't know what's going on up there, right? I just know how he is.
How he built.
You see what I'm saying? I know that he ain't coming up there just to chill or relax. He coming to play football, and I think having those guys like the big time Jameer Josephs and all them surrounding him on defense, all he got to do is play and make plays. He gonna make plays, and he ain't no punk.
That's all I've been hearing about. I've been hearing like he's heart of a lion.
So you can see that. Who else?
I'll give you a couple of schools. I mean, you know the Publix too, right? So don't forget Shabazz.
Oh yeah.
Why you at?
That's a whole stuff. But yeah.
No, all right. Yeah. So from PC, that's what you're interested. Joe's, that's what you're interested.
Yeah.
Anything at DePaul?
DePaul is Nolan.
Nolan
Yeah.
James.
Everybody wants to see the Nolan James.
All right.
That's the biggest transfer for me. I think he was one of the biggest in the state. He went with a boom.
Yeah, nah, he did have a lot of airfare with that transfer.
Yeah. So,
you know.
so I'm excited about seeing Nolan, Nolan James. Who else? Obviously, my boy. I want to see. He's not a transfer, but I do want to see what Marlon Bright do. He's going to start this year.
You kind of went off on that, but okay.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. What you got, T?
Well, you said basically the people I said. Kenyon Massey, he's going to go to Paramus Catholic and do what he do. And so that's his senior year. He's going to show out. Issa going over to St. Joe's. Issa.
Is it the inside scoop?
I'm excited to see Issa play. Just like one thing is, I know I've been watching Issa play for a long time, and he's gonna hit somebody.
Okay.
So just know, he gonna blam somebody. And so I'm excited to see that.
Is there any other transfers that came to Joe's that I might have don't know about?
We have a DB.
Stewart. He's Daquan Stewart's younger brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last name Stewart. He's also another DB that transferred over. Cam. I don't know your last name. I'm sorry, Cam.
Austin, is it?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Austin. Cameron Austin. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a DB that came over from Bergen.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Right. So that's what you got at St. Joe's.
Okay. What's the next one?
So I guess we all, and again, this is not like a panel of agreed. Like I'm just trying to just rain off names that I want to see, right? These are transfers that I'm interested in seeing. Not that I know you're going to do something or not, So obviously I'm interested to see Kenyon at PC. I'm interested to.
Oh, would you? Go ahead.
I'm gonna get this. I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see Kenyon at PC. There's a kid, Ryan Sakar, that left Joe's, that went to Bergen. Sophomore, 6'2", 230. He went over there to play linebacker. I'm interested to see if he can break into that lineup over there, because Bergen has two really good linebackers already there that made a name for themselves last year. The young boy, Dante Kane, is stepping up at the outside linebacker there.
Ooh.
So there's another linebacker position opening. I'm interested to see if the young kid, Ryan Sakar, can snatch that position up, and what he could do with that. I'm interested to see the kid Ramin Farazi at St. Joe's, 6'3", 265 defensive end from Somerville. I'm interested to see what he could do. Really strong kid. I like the way he looks. He's put together nice. Great addition to their D-line. I'm obviously interested to see Nolan James over at DePaul Catholic. I'm also interested to see how the dynamics of him and the other sophomore, Max,
I like it.
Works out. Those guys are Silk City guys. Well, Max was around with a lot of different teams, but they spent some time together.
Max ready to go. I feel like Max. Well,
but while we talking about Nolan and Max, I'm also interested to see the kid Jaden, that was the tailback for DePaul last year, who's at Paramus Catholic now.
The
fast kid,
He left DePaul
when Nolan came exit stage left.
Oh,
he's at Paramus. Yeah, Paramus Catholic got bullets. Like when I tell you 20-30, I'm not joking. Like I can't bet against them. I'm looking at polls where people left them out the top 10, and I get it. They had a horrible season last year. I truly get it. But there's some teams up there that had a horrible season as well. And if we being real, I'm one of the few people that not just talking about a team where my son play. You get what I'm saying? I went and sat in these bleachers. Paramus Catholic up front is big as or bigger than everybody else in that league. Skill kids, they went and got a whole new linebacker corps. You see these kids walking around over 200 pounds, all over 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? They ready to go. They brought the kid in from Christ the King, who's supposed to be the second best.
Transfer. What about the quarterback?
Hold on, second best cornerback in
he just got there.
in New York. That's there. They had a quarterback battle, which I know, and I'm putting that on you. Gabe Miles is about to snatch that. Everything tells me that. If I'm wrong, sorry.
That's the kid from Silk City?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's with PC. It's a lot, and I don't want to get it because I can literally just say I'm interested to see everything they brought in, but I can't do that. I'm
so
Okay, so
and I'm sorry, don't cut you off, but Pat Grusser.
I
forgot about
that.
him because he came a little
ball.
early, so I got
that's
used
a
to seeing
transfer?
him.
Quarterback,
That's a
quarterback,
transfer.
and I think he's going to be a big time.
Yeah,
I
coming
really
from
like
DePaul
I
over
like
to
the Paul.
Joe's.
He's a senior this year?
He's a
Yeah.
senior this year. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see.
Dang,
But
man.
there's also
Yeah.
there's a good quarterback too that left Southern Regional. That's at Don Bosco. So him and Charlie Lamarte's in a battle right now for starting position. About 6'4", 6'5", 215, 20-pound kid. Cannon. I hear he's not as mobile as Charlie, but I also hear Charlie doesn't toss it like this kid. So that's gonna be interesting. You know what's happening over there.
If y'all would have kept y'all quarterback, that would have had Ice Spice at the game.
Yeah, you know that, right?
Yeah,
Ice Spice
that's
is Joey's sister.
Joey's
Shout out
sister.
to Joey
Yes,
at Iona
yes.
Prep.
Yeah,
Shout out to you, Joey.
Yo,
That's
Bergen,
a-
I'm telling y'all, overlooking them. Don't do that. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
Joey guys.
Joey. Joey
Iona
got
Prep's gonna have a
That's
huge line.
Yeah.
So like you know,
He made me a
Yeah.
believer, so go ahead. What's the
Yeah.
next school?
yeah. So now we was just going
We
on
went
the
to
transfer.
Bergen, you
So
talking
you
about-
wanted to talk about like St. Peter's?
Did they get any? I think they got.
Listen,
kid
man.
from Huston Catholic. They got a lineman.
They linebacker.
What about the kid that your man, my boy, Kinsler? Just came to Bergen.
Yeah, Jermaine Kinsler. But I felt like we did a whole thing on him on our platform, so I didn't even feel the need to mention him because we did for him only what we did for Nolan. Those are the only two kids that we publicly blasted off their transfer. So I felt like, that's kind of like overkill. Like by now, everybody knows.
Oh, they already knew that. Okay.
Jermaine
All right,
Kinsler
all right,
is,
bad,
is coming.
bad,
You know what I'm saying?
bad.
But yeah, St. Peter's, they had a rough off season. You know what I'm saying? Lost a lot of kids. You know what I'm saying? Lost a lot of kids. But I think that they've been basically damned to hell because of all the kids they lost. And I'm gonna tell you that I think they got some young kids that's talented. And I think they're gonna sneak up and
They will.
surprise them.
I see it too. I'm looking at it like, Coach, like, you know what? We're gonna prove the world wrong. And you can see the kids. I'm watching how they move, and they like, yo, look, we still there. What you mean?
Right.
And they got a nice, solid core of guys that could get them to the promised land. It's just what they do with it. I'm excited to see how their defense going. It ain't about the offense. I think their offense is going to score points. I'm thinking.
I think they're gonna struggle defensively. I think they're gonna find themselves in the same. I think a few teams is gonna struggle defensively. Let me be on the record for saying that. But I really see them possibly. I know some people that picked them to win 2 games, right? I see them more with like a 6-5, 5-6 record.
So what would be the games they win that you said when you said the 2 games? What would those be?
I think that, and this is just the homer in me. I expect them to win the out-of-state game down in Georgia against. But hold on, let's pull it up. You want to know the 2 games that I think they're gonna win. First game, down in Georgia.
You got them winning that.
Okay,
I like them to be competitive and pull that out. Assuming that they don't get big-eyed down there, right? Because I've watched the game down there. The band's amazing. The stadiums are huge. The crowds are rowdy. This is a young group they're bringing in. You shaking your head, but these are young boys.
They played at MetLife.
Yeah.
What's that?
They've been on the stage. They ready to go.
That's not like Georgia.
I don't think that's going to be the part that stopped them from winning that game or losing. And it's not going to be like the crowd's not going to be the factor.
Okay, so we said is good. Okay,
So,
fine.
yeah.
Next week they at St. Joseph Prep.
Philly?
60, 70 ball.
Yeah, beating.
Yeah.
Bad.
Sorry.
They're packed. All right, so they're gonna get smoked.
That's because they did it. They already did it where they had the people
When they had,
there.
they had,
And
They had the
and
chess
now
pieces.
these kids coming back for this. They was already there. Like I chipped your big homies up. Now I'm coming. So they're gonna be there for y'all. Y'all my age.
Yeah. All right, so they're packed against that, right?
Packed out. That's how the kids
So
said.
next week they got the Paul.
You got on green.
Nah, so, no. You wanted to talk about this, so
Okay.
go ahead. The Paul.
I'm going.
See, we
wanna
kind
go a
of
little-
getting into the rankings right now. What we're gonna talk about
right.
when we start breaking down. But don't tell why. Just say what you think, and we can talk about why when we talk about the rankings.
I'm gonna take y'all for a win for DePaul because I think everybody else might not. Go ahead.
I got the poll.
You got the Paul. All right. So then the following week after that, Del Bar. So right now, according to the guys, they are 1-3. They 1-3. So then they got Del Bar.
Let's just stop right there and let's just, like, you know what I mean? Because I don't think we was going that far. I just want.
Well, how far was we going?
We can just finish.
No, we don't need to finish it because I see where this is going. I'm telling you,
No,
we
don't
don't
do
need to
that.
finish
Don't do
it.
that. Don't do that. Because everybody gonna blame me. I just said, I was just, you was going off the schedule.
What am I supposed to go off?
No, I'm saying, hey, look, Del Barton is real, bro. We already witnessed that.
They're gonna beat Del Barton.
They gonna beat
let
Del
me
Barton?
tell you, yes.
Okay, got that. All right.
They're
Thank
gonna
you.
beat Del Barton.
Okay.
That
Now
one,
we
you know,
can
the
go.
call when I went off.
All right, so when we come to rankings, I'm going to double back and you
Double
have to
back.
tell us why they're going to beat Del
You gonna
Barton.
have to.
Yeah.
All right. So after Del Barton, they got Don Bosco.
No, they're not going. They're gonna lose that one.
I mean, I could see Prep stealing them.
Let's see. Well, they don't say it.
Cause Bosco still got to
They
show me
lost?
they got a quarterback.
Yeah, they lost a lot of people too. Well,
They got to show me that.
I mean, I think everybody got to show you that for the most part.
Only
right?
thing is, I just say Pound Town, just like Pound Town.
yeah.
That's down.
Yo, and I'm gonna tell you,
they
Logan
go
Bush is
back
like
to
220
yes,
now, bro. Solid.
And even
He was great.
Jaden, my man.
Yeah, Jaden Richards.
Yeah, Jaden. He coming. He ready to go. That's Jelly
He
brother.
said Pound Town. Okay.
Yeah.
Just left Pound Town. Okay. Then they get a chance to regroup. They got to buy.
Okay.
Then they got your Paladins, Paramus Catholic. Now they just put 60 up on Paramus Catholic, so I expect
And they played them at PC.
Paramus to be very upset.
They played them at PC.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's at PC. Yup. It's at Bosco.
They're gonna lose that one.
You think they're gonna lose the PC?
Yes.
I mean, I think Russo hot, but sometimes like, all right. So I don't. I'm judging it off of old
So we
prep.
can just put a toss up.
I toss it.
Because we ain't gonna do them there.
No, if we don't drink
Oh, so
it.
y'all wait, no,
That's why y'all drink to that.
You can do that.
No, y'all not gonna do it toss up because y'all made
take
me
a shot at
choose.
that.
No, you gonna have
No,
to.
shut up. I don't know. That's gonna be a good game right there.
No. So you gotta pick one. Go ahead.
Hey,
You gotta pick one.
so for me, I see PC getting them.
Okay.
I ain't picked none yet.
You gotta pick one.
I'm the
now.
admin. I'm the admin. So it's a little. I always throw this at Nas because it's a little tougher for me because, like Nas go with Phil, he go with what he see. He go like me. I be caught up in like real intricacies. So like for example, I'm gonna tell you what I'm dealing with the PC. I'm gonna tell you what I'm dealing with Bosco, PC and Bosco when it comes to St.
But
Peter's, right?
If Prep can stop them, they can beat them.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to stop Paramus Catholic to beat them because they gonna score the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It depends how well the young boy quarterback does.
So that's what I'm about to get at. I can't pick this, and the reason why I don't even like doing preseason rankings because I like to see all the scrimmages, right? PC's breaking in a new quarterback no matter who it is, and Prep got a new quarterback, right? Save me the pajama all-star stuff. I don't care what you did in your shorts and your t-shirts, right? Because it's a little different when they trying to wring your neck for real, right?
The only thing is, I don't think I don't want to. Is this keep it a? All right, so let's keep it a buck.
It's always been, man.
All right, so
what
check
you
this
saying?
out.
You holding back?
So PC's on offensive line and then Prep's defensive line. For me, I feel that's not even a matchup. And then
Not a matchup in favor of who?
I don't want to say that because it's kids. All right, I take that back.
I mean, no, this ain't kids. This is units, man. No,
All
let's
right,
keep it a buck.
so
You're not singling out an individual.
That's
We're
right.
talking about a unit.
All right. So look, I feel that Paramus Catholic up front is going to be tough. It's nails. You know what I'm saying? They big. They got some stuff with them up there. I don't think that Prep has what it takes up front. And I hope I'm pissing them off so they can come wild out. I'm like, yo, same way like the kid flipped it on me with PC last year, Big Mom guy.
Juan.
Go to Miami. But, and now look, you up, see? So now.
He flipped it on you when they lost that day.
Because
Because he was going in the half. He was celebrating at halftime.
They got clapped. They lost.
No, that was going in the half, and he shot with a shot, and then
crazy.
boat race.
Thank you, Prep. But on this one right here, it's just tough, man, because they could get out schemed, and it's just like a coaching game. But I do believe in how Russo. I just think I don't know, man. I said what I said. That's it.
The PC game is a real hard one to call, right?
Yeah.
They come out of that, and they are home against Bergen Catholic.
They home against Bergen Catholic. Prep kind of own them home though a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
What you willing to put on that?
Who you got on that?
Why can't you put me first?
I want to get a
Hold on, now I can get with you sitting there thinking with PC because PC still has to prove something, right?
Yeah.
I can get that. I can get with you being torn.
I got Bergen. I got Bergen all day long.
I'm gonna give it to Bergen.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
because I feel like Bergen could really play with them. Like their defense could play with those good guys that's on their offense. I don't think that Prep could even play with them at all defensively. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it. I mean, Quincy did what he did a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And those guys are not even there. So we still got some real younger ones now coming up. And they got to deal with that. They got to deal with the Caution. They got to deal with the Mujahids. And they got to whatever. All the quarterback, my boy Campanelli. This kid is gonna be grown and shit, dog.
Yeah.
He's gonna be grown. So, and to see the Big 99.
Nair?
No.
Kinsler?
Kinsler. Nair and who else? Jordan Thomas. Parrish. Like they got some stuff, dog. So I'm excited to see that. I'm going with Bergen.
Okay.
I'm going with Bergen.
She made it real easy. Didn't they end it out with Seton Hall Prep?
Who you got?
Dude, are we keeping the numbers?
So I'm going to say something. While y'all think about it, what I'm going to say is for years,
I
give St. Peter's problems about cherry picking schedules. And the one year I think that they should have done it, they didn't. This is, to me, the toughest schedule in North Jersey, period. Toughest schedule in Jersey.
Period.
I'm not going to say North Jersey, in Jersey. Like, there is no
break. There's no break. They schedule right there. There's no break. Only break they got is
But is it really tough, or is it tough for them this year?
That's tough for anybody.
No, that's for anybody. That's gonna be tough.
We can slide
any name in there.
And do the same. Do their
same. And be like, what's up?
So they're playing Seton Hall. They're playing Bergen. They're playing. The only place they're not playing is
St. Joe's. I think Bosco might have a similar schedule because Bosco's playing St. Joe's Philly.
St. Joe's Philly. That's the only difference there is St. Joe's Philly.
Well,
and your out of state school.
Sometimes no. What usually happens here, you can.
I guess Paramus.
Other teams, what they'll do is like they'll move one of the regulars that we play, and then they'll go. No disrespect to another team, but they'll go play like Hudson Catholic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or they could have had. I don't know what this team will be this year, but they could have had Pope John, who's in the past have not been that competitive. So there's ways to
maneuver it,
schedule up. You know what I'm saying? You can flat out just go and play, a public school down south in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? They didn't take no days off with this schedule.
They didn't. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I remember OG used to say,
"Go do what you do."
Salute the Prep, man. It's
yeah.
Big year, prove everybody wrong.
Shout out Jalen Klein.
Oh, Jaden Klein and my man Watson.
Yeah,
Hassan. Gotta give Hassan more.
Every now and then I'm gonna drop a jewel and shit.
I would like to see a Hunter.
My OG used to say, you know what I'm saying? The coward lives to tell how that brave motherfucker died. They brave as hell. Checking the heart department. I don't know if this is too smart, but moving right along. King. Breakout year.
Keyshawn Faison.
Yeah. Oh no, so that's what I wanted to talk about. So after that, we get to that, right? So shout out to Ron, his dad. He definitely hit me up on it about like the little guys, right?
Yeah,
so,
I got that. Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about like a kid like Issa Salam.
I said you gotta remove Issa out of that though because
he grew out of that later.
Yeah, he's not a little guy. We can't talk about him as if he's having to fight the same battles those guys having to fight no more.
You know why though? I'm saying because she got like not saying like when you reclass. You see how he he did it on the level, right? You see what I'm saying? He already came in like big, like tall, how he is, right? So for a kid like him, like his first year, I watched him get his helmet knocked off. Little dude playing JV, right? Big North. Next year, he had no choice but to start, right? And then now, that's when we got to see him being a scrappy little guy, right? And then that technically would have been his freshman year. That's how I be looking at it, stuff like that.
Had he reclass.
Yeah, it would have been technically his freshman year. And then now, what he doing now, he was going to do this regardless of what's happening, what he going to do now. And then you see so forth. But he had to grow up through high school. These guys, all right, so the guys we talking about now are still little, like the Lil Nas's and the Kings, right? So to see King now at St. Peter's.
Yeah.
King at St. Peter's, and my man that's at Terrence too. Another small guy, but Terrence don't really fit in anything because he's thick as he got the little swole with it too. Yeah, something. Yeah. But now you see King, right? His body, he getting put together. So I mean, shout out to the little guys that's making a way out here, man. Whoever you are, do not let anything stop you. And that's what I think with those guys, it showed their consistency. They kept pushing. You can see when little guys really like love the game like that. They just want to do whatever it is. Like seeing these guys get hit like they getting, like you get hit, and you in the big North, you out here. Like I remember when my son was playing against Blackjack, what I tell you, I told him get down. Like they threw a bubble, he slid. I said, yeah, that's a good job, brother. You saved your body. You know what I mean? So, but to see them in their senior year now balling out is a great.
And they work hard.
Let's stay there.
They work hard.
Give me a few little guys that you expect big years from.
It's a little guy that's up at Joe's now too. It's Prom. Be on the lookout.
He's a
freshman.
Yeah.
Right? And then Nate, a kid named Nate Bailey. So Nate Bailey is definitely like the king of the little guys. Like he the big homie of little guys. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I don't even like to use the word little guy.
It's hard. I'm waiting for you to finish, and I'm like, I can't even put Nate in. I mean, I get why you're saying it, but
Nate is a big dog. Nate is a big dog. And he carries himself like a big dog.
That's what I'm about to say, right? So let's do that too. Tell us what separates some of these little guys, right, from not holding that mantra, like a Nate. Because people, I understand what you're saying. Obviously, Tristal do. But like, what is it that people, when they see him, they just don't know? You gotta see to know enough. You gotta see him a lot to know it.
It's mentality. Some kids, it come like it don't matter. Like it just, and then some kids, it's just like it's how you come through life too. Some people just like kid, and some people be like, you know what? Nah, this is what I want to do. Like I ain't got time to play with the little toys, and I want that. And you can see Nate. Nate's been that way since he was a little dude. I mean, like playing on little levels. Like he's been small, but he's been the bigger dude on the team. It's like you got to stop Nate.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So this ain't just start. So now to see him in high school is like, I knew it. And then you know, one thing about them is like, it's just the mentality here, right? And it just transition onto the field.
The thing I see with a lot of, I'm not even going, the heart guys, let's call them the heart guys, is that they have heart. They have leadership. They're outworking anybody. When you talk about King, when you talk about Nate, when you talk about Issa, what do you think? They all have the same qualities. So they work hard. They're not going to say no. When you see them, they're first in line. They running up. They're hitting whoever. They're guarding whoever. Where you need me. You need to do it. Where do you need me to go? And that says something for who they are. And that's one of those things that I don't want to bring it back, but bring it full circle. Rutgers, Nate Bailey. You know what I mean? And you're not going to lose on that. You're not going to lose. You're actually going to get a gem and be the first one to do it.
For me, obviously.
Because we talked about that. He know that. We had the same conversation about Nate.
So I agree with everything you guys say about Nate. You know what I'm saying? I have my own personal experience with Nate. And my experience with Nate was when he was coming into high school, he was stuck between trying to pick a school. So he I got on the phone with him and his mom, and they were asking, what do you think we should do between St. Joe's, Seton Hall Prep, and St. Peter's Prep? And because they live where they live in close proximity to Seton Hall Prep. With him being a really good student too. You know what I'm saying? That's the best part of him. He's a phenomenal student. And that's what you got to be to go to Seton Hall Prep. I said that I think you should go to Seton Hall Prep first, St. Peter's second. Why do I think? And I think that you should totally take Joe's out of your mind. I think that you should go to Seton Hall Prep because you got an opportunity to play right away there. I think you should go, and they, Coach Fitz, throws it around. I think you should go to St. Peter's because they throw it around, right? Might not play right away there, but they throw it around and eventually you'll play. Stay the hell away from Joe's because you won't play there until probably your senior year. Keep in mind, Kenyon Massey was there, but even if Kenyon wasn't there, they still had a bunch of receivers. And I didn't know Nate the way y'all know Nate. The way I know Nate now, I know he laughed at that. And he had that, you don't even know who you talking to.
Right.
Because all he did was, went exactly where I told him not to go.
Improved.
And stole the starting position as a freshman. At a place that I told him you won't play until your senior year. So that's my story about Nate, and that's his mentality. He's a leader, right? I watch him. I watch how, I believe you can't put leadership in a person and you can't take it out of them. I can teach you how to emulate leadership, but I can't make you a leader. 99.9% of us are followers. There's only 1% leaders, and they are born. And I believe Nate is that. And how do you know that? Because as a younger guy, when you get around and people gravitate and follow you, that's the leaders. Those are them right there, So that's what I say. But also, who I don't want to leave out when we talk about these big, hard-working guys is Achilles DuPont at Paramus Catholic. The kid he scares me the way he works because I feel like he's going to break something. And it don't matter sick, it don't matter if he broken bone or whatever, he's working the same way. You know what I'm saying? So that's another guy that possibly might be starting at the running back this year in the Big North as a smaller guy with a huge heart. His heart is too big, because there's times that I think that he should be, more elusive, that he's trying to take on big linebackers, and it's really because in his mind, he's 7 foot tall. So,
Brandon Gomez. Brandon Gomez, Bergen Catholic, another one. Should have a breakout year. Small guy, big heart, plays the game fast. And another one, well, he's not a small guy, but that's my man Talik at Pope John. Yeah, special dude.
All right.
Some people think what I do is easy, but they wrong. I'ma keep it a buck with you. I'm a different breed. Move! Come on, work. Good.
Stay true to yourself and what you wear. Keep it a buck. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the recent commitment of Yasin Willis to Pitt, right? I want to know y'all thoughts on that. Like, was that, and again, we just trying to dive into it to see how, in this it tells how we pick schools, right? And fits, right? You know what I'm saying? What do you think about the fit for that? Where would you like to see them? You know what I'm saying? What's the pick? But like, did you predict this too, right? So let's talk about that,
I like Pitt for Yasin. I see him going there and playing right away, right? So he had Alabama and also Rutgers as his choices. And I like Pitt, the atmosphere at the school as it is, and I think that it's a good look for him. Mm-hmm. If he would have went to Alabama, he probably would have sat for maybe a year or two, maybe two. And yes, I think he would have went out there and did what he had to do. But I think Pitt would be great for him. It'd be closer to home.
You know that. You know what? I feel like you said that because you know what Alabama does with running backs. And if you look at the history of what they do with running backs, normally they sit 2 years, 1 year, and then come in and do their thing. So when you said that, he said, I got chill bumps. Like, wow, look, she's going in on this. But I thought Pitt was good for him. I felt like he felt like it was home. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm biased. I would have loved to see him at Rutgers. You know, that's me. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe Pitt was a great look for him. I felt it was Alabama, Pitt, Rutgers. I was like, Rutgers don't never end up landing a guy like him. And I just felt in between was going to be Pitt.
For me, I like the Pitt thing. So what I'll say about, Yasin Willis is I feel like, yes, that's the Alabama way. If he had went to Alabama, you most likely going to sit, minimum 1 year, right? You might even sit 2. Schools like that, you only need 1 year, right? Mm-hmm. 1 year to come in and make a Heisman run and get on up out of there. And I think he could have done that. What I will say about him is there's certain kids you can't put in certain locker rooms. They don't got what it takes to be in the locker room of an Alabama, a Miami. Like, there's some real dudes in there, like goon dudes, like dudes that football all they got. They don't even got a front door in their mama house. Like, football all they got. They're going to make it one way or another in here. Like, there's some locker rooms that certain kids can't make it in there because you're not built to be around these type of kids. I feel like Yasin Willis, a lot like we discussed when Al-Qadim Muhammad was going to Miami. He was built to be in the Miami locker room. Mm-hmm. We were surprised that like Minka went and took Alabama by storm like that, coming from that type of family dynamic, This kid can go in any locker room. You get what I'm saying?
Straight up.
And lead the pack.
Mm-hmm.
I like Pitt for him, and I like Pitt for him out of his options because like TT said, is an opportunity where I think that he can play right away. Also, Rutgers, they got the kid Sam, the freshman kid that's coming back. He'll be a redshirt freshman this year. Yeah. He's built in the same mold that Yasin Willis is built in. Kyle is there. I don't know how much eligibility Kyle had left, but I think he at least has the roof at the freshman year that would have been Yasin. So you have to wait there too, right? So I think that the decision was made, like there's an opportunity for him to go play right away. Now here's the thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to, that I'm a geek when it comes to this, that I pay attention to. The ACC does not handle big backs the way the Big Ten does. And what I mean by that is big backs are a headache for the ACC. ACC is a speed league, right? So when you look like, you could take somebody like Ordrick, pull up his stats against ACC schools, they're terrorizing on minimal carries. So like you'll see like Will Shipley. Will Shipley is known as one of the best backs in the country. Pull up his stats outside of the ACC. Not much happening. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I feel like ACC, they recruit to defend the things they're going to see. Wide open, quick, fast offenses. Pac-12-ish. When you get a grown man like Train that's bigger than your linebackers, pound time. What do you call it? Pound town. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're going to pound town. And they're not equipped to handle that. Like you've seen it when you look at Ordrick versus North Carolina, Ordrick versus Clemson, Ordrick versus Syracuse. They don't, and Train is Ordrick size right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right now. Train is 227. So I feel like in the Big Ten, you hope you get out of there with your knees. In the ACC, I think he's going to come out of there, looking pretty good. I think he has an opportunity to do special things. So I like that pick for him. But, we all know all these things, nothing is cemented in stone until they sign. So let's see where that goes.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of player rankings, local player rankings and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I know we've all seen them. I haven't talked to any of you guys about it in there. What's your thoughts on those?
All right, so this is my first thought. I'm gonna just be 100 with you. I saw one ranking, and they had my son playing wide receiver. So I was just like, they just wilding.
And these are like local, like New Jersey rankings, right? New Jersey guys, right? All right.
And obviously,
so that's a shot to credibility right there, right? Like you didn't even roll out of your bed to do the research,
right?
Shout out to Little Reese, you gotta do the research on that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I seen a couple. I don't know. I saw a couple running back things. It was stat wise. I guess that's what they went on. And shout out to them because they had the stat underneath it. So in that part. It looked at off numbers. That's what I was telling somebody before. It don't matter what school you go to, how they rate in the backs. It goes off your yards that you had. And maybe that's what's going on. Probably he looked that up. I don't know. I ain't look up the receiving yards or what receivers they had. I know that they just missing out on a bunch of receivers that they probably don't know about or the lack of it. But QBs, how you feel about that? Was it accurate?
I think most of the local shits is garbage. And I'm gonna tell you flat out why I think it's garbage. Like I've seen a poll where they got kids that didn't even play on varsity yet. That might not even start this year on their varsity because they stuck in battles ranked ahead of kids that didn't put it down on varsity.
It said
right?
Banks coming back, the one I saw. I'm saying. It said
I get
Banks coming back.
Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So like what's your rubric? You're not even serious at that point. You're not even serious, right? And I've seen, polls.
So do those rankings get you like?
Nah, they're clickbait. They're clickbait, local rankings. But I just think you should do your homework, right?
Absolutely.
You should really do your homework because I'll see list guys that didn't even play that's on varsity and didn't even start on their team yet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, where'd you get this from? Oh, hot name. You know what I'm saying? It's a hot name, but there's no game behind it. And y'all know how I am with that. I don't care what you did in youth league. I don't care what people think you're going to do. Until you do it on the varsity level, even though I know you might do it, I can't give it to you.
Right.
I can't give it to you. That's something you got to earn. And then I'll see guys listed at crazy type of heights. And I'm like, you could have never saw the kid. Because there's no way you saw that kid and you just wrote that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So a lot of that is just laziness. There's a lot of lazy stuff going on. For me, and I stay away from rankings, right? Because kids take that shit real personal too. You on there and you like, yo, you leave them off or whatever, for whatever reason. So there's many reasons I stay away from that. But until I could see every kid, I would never feel comfortable doing a ranking because, right now, there's a Shaquan Loyal somewhere camped out at some public school that don't get no pub. That's probably better than every kid that's ranked nationally with the real recruiting services, right? You know what I'm saying? And, I'm about to act like I know and seen it all. When a lot of this stuff is just phone calls, hey, what you got, blah, blah, blah. And you're not taking into credit, you're not taking into consideration why the person is telling you that, what they got invested in telling you that this kid is that or that kid's that. Get out and do your homework and see the kids.
Absolutely.
That's even when we come down to the poll, for the high school teams, I feel like a lot of it's just groupieism. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes those conversations, because shout out to Adam Freeman and a couple other guys, but the one thing about me is I've never gave someone just because I said I like them or they was my people or probably played for me, right? I remember one time Adam Freeman came, I was like, yo, that's Jalen Berger. You know who he is? He's like, nah. I was like, he's only the best running back in the country, right? That's what I'm saying, right?
Freshman.
This is freshman year. I'm like, come on over, boom, boom, boom. And we did it. Like, you sure? I'm like, what? Is you crazy? He was looking at him. And then after that, he's like, yo, I was on point with everything to the Shaquan lawyers and everything. No one wanted, you know the story about the Shaquan lawyers. No one wanted to take the chance. Until there's they seen him was holy, yo, all right, this guy really know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so there's some things that, there's some things that go on and knowing what you're talking about, right? So I watched a debate, for running backs. First of all, there's no debate in this state, in North Jersey, when it comes to training anybody, right? When you go by real recruiting standards, you know what I'm saying? you take into account, right, size, agility, you take into, speed, you take into production, whether they can catch out the backfield, different things like that, right? So even when you go down to being recruited, like the real national recruiting sites, when they rank you on how you translate to the next level. So you can be very successful at the high school level, run crazy, and that's not enough, right? Mm-hmm. Because they'll say, if you're not 6 feet or better, weigh 215 or whatever, they want to see you run a 4.5, 4.6 or better, right? They want to see you break that long run, right? Mm-hmm. They don't want to see you get walked down from the back and all that. If that's happening, I don't care if you got 3,000 yards and how you look doing it, you're not a Division I recruit,
True.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's things like
you got to have all that stuff to go along with the
things,
right.
with the yards. So I got you.
Yeah. So just in that matter, right? Even down, like you talked about, like Berger. I remember when he was a freshman, me and you was on a phone call, and you said, "You'll let he never get caught from the back." That matters. Mm-hmm. That matters, right? Because as a running back, I don't care if you at Bosco and you breaking crazy like that. You break a run and the dude hawk you from the back.
Yeah.
Northeast is curtains, bro. It's curtains. So again, like, we have to take into context what these rankings are. Are these just for here and right now, or are you trying to be like a Rivals or 247
right.
or those
It
things?
might just be a feeling. Might be a feeling. Their own opinion.
Yeah. And you have a part of having your research is you have to have integrity. Like if you're just throwing names up for clickbait and things like that, you're not thinking about what you're doing to the kids. It's bigger than that, because these kids are not like when we were growing up, and it's like they have social media and it's a mental thing. Mm-hmm. So now they have to dig deep, and you have to show them proof of why. Like I talked to some of these kids and I showed them proof, kind of what you said. Mm-hmm. This kid never played varsity. They got Omari and the wide receiver. Like, throw that out. So now that they can so now they can say, okay, let me not let this affect me in any type of way. Mm-hmm. But you have to have integrity. If whether you are local and you're doing it for clickbait, or even I've seen some of them that are not local that still had kids up there ahead of kids that never played varsity. That doesn't make sense. And it wasn't a local. Yeah. It wasn't like some, Yeah,
it goes like that because again, it's who you trust, right? Like Nas said, I always tell it like it is, and I try to do that too. Like I don't care what our relationship. If you're not that, I can't do it for you, right? But what'll happen is they'll trust Nas, and Nas will say, "This kid hasn't played varsity, but he's gonna be the best thing to ever play varsity." Meanwhile, that kid getting abused on the level he playing right now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But they respect Nas.
They respect him because he said it, right?
Yeah, we're gonna throw him up there.
Yeah, it's politics.
Crazy.
It's politics. Right. And sometimes I guess when it works for you, it works for you. When it doesn't, it doesn't. But there are kids, they do have to have some integrity when it comes down to the whole politics and the rankings.
So how you feel about, so we had some team rankings too, and also our very own Keep It a Buck had their own team rankings. How did you feel about that?
So when that poll was brought to my attention, again, I like to stay away from preseason rankings before scrimmages have been played. And I've stated that to, the staff at Keep It a Buck when they brought that. The only request that I had say so in this is I said that PC needs to be in that top 10. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where they fall, but they need to be in there. I get it. They looked horrible last year on paper with their record. But they got too much pieces to be behind some of those teams I saw in the top 10 and other people's poll. I said that, and I said Bergen has to be number 1.
Yeah, I agree.
So how did you feel about it?
So I also before we set it out, I said there has to be a couple of changes. I think if we're going to I agree, Bergen needs to be number 1. You just have to give them the respect. Bergen.
Okay.
Yeah,
everybody has Bergen number 1.
You have to give them, and only because.
But it was a debate in our roundtable.
For me, only because of the history. Give them respect because they did it the last 2 years, and so give them that respect, right? Yeah. Now, at some point I said, if you're going to do that to Bergen, then you got to pull up Bosco, because same thing. Yes, they lost, but they were in the championship for the last 2 years.
So can I push back to that? And that was brought to me. And again, I fought against Bosco being number 2. And the reason why...
Not number 2. But higher than they
Well,
were.
no, there was. So we had OG Keith that was saying based on that rubric.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I didn't think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
shout out to Keith Miles.
Yeah.
OG Keith said,
So I
based
didn't-
on.
So they got Bosco number 2?
No.
Oh,
They
okay.
had them lower than.
There's
honestly,
there's
they
another
had,
poll that
yeah.
had Bosco too.
They
on it.
had there was something they had them lower than Del Barton. Let's just put it there.
Yeah.
They were under Del Barton on the poll that I got received, and I didn't think that was accurate. You got to give them a little more respect, the same way you give Bergen the respect, and the same thing for
You know
for
Del
RBC.
Barton that deal, right?
I mean, they are,
But she's just saying off of what you've done already.
If you're going to do it, if your metric, you got to keep your metrics the same, right? If you're doing it for Bergen,
Integrity. She spoke about integrity.
if you're doing it for Bergen, then you have to say, yes, Del Barton, they coming. But understand, let me say something about Del Barton real quick.
Hold on, let us go down the thing, right?
Okay,
So
we're gonna go
but
down.
you brought Bosco, so I want to
So,
say in
yeah.
regards to integrity, doing for them what we did for Bergen, I felt like they weren't deserving of what we did for Bergen, and I'll tell you why. Yes, they've been there the last 2 years as well, but my rubric that I'm using is not only is Bergen the defending 2-time state championship, I'm also looking at what you bring back, right? So I said to OG Keith, it was like, well, why should Bergen be number 1? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did they do? They got glaring problems. And I said, they're the 2-time state championship. And when we go man for man through their roster, tell me where's the clear deciding factor that they shouldn't be one. I'm not saying that somebody else can't be, but I'm saying where's the clear separation where you say that Bergen can't have that.
No, I
you know
got
what I'm saying?
I got you.
So, he still didn't want to see that or whatever, but that's what my stance was with making Bergen 1. And the reason why I didn't just blindly give Bosco 2 like that is simply because of Manacucci. Like, quarterback is a huge deal. You know what I'm saying? He's gone. Logan Bush is the guy, bro. And he's that guy. But I also believe that the change of pace with Nolan was unheard of as well. Then I look at, Shaquan Walters. You know what I'm saying?
They got the young boy.
The D line, right? Javon was one of the most unsung history hero in New Jersey last year. Javon to me was their best D lineman, right? He's gone. There's another D line. There's a lot of key pieces, right? Chase, Chris Marino, right?
Remember Makai Allen, the name.
Okay, man, but for that, man. Like, I'm not giving no kid that ain't play varsity football no props. I don't care. He's got to do it first. No, I get it. He might, but I'm not into handing out flowers of what you did, youth. You got to come dominate the men first. Not saying what you're saying isn't true. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I'm not into paying people that ain't paid.
Bosco got Ian Adrian.
And
then the other kid is a slot receiver there. Was a quarterback. Damn, what's his name? But he's there too. And the kid plays both ways.
Dorsey.
He's like Hassan
Dorsey
to them. And hopefully we could put his name up on the thing, but I forgot. He's
I'll give you some time while I'm talking.
Nah,
You talking about Dorsey?
But here's the thing.
No, Dorsey, another one that he's going to show out on defense.
Chase Basantis is a generational talent. Period.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Chris Marino. These guys are 4-year starters. It was behind that side that Bergen took the only loss that they've had in the last 2 years. They ran right behind them for a count of 300 and something yards.
Is
bro.
Brandon Tell still
You know what I'm
there?
saying? Yeah, that's the dude. That's the dude. He's the best in the business. But regardless to the fact, Chase got something you can't coach. You can't be 6'6" moving around like a tight end, bro. You know what I'm saying? This guy's gonna start at Texas A&M as a true freshman. That's special. Chris Marino would be that too, minus a couple inches. Yeah. So I can't act like that's not huge because it was pound time for Bosco. And when it wasn't, it was play action, Manacucci hurting you with his arms and legs.
I got you.
So what I'm saying is we got breaking in a new quarterback.
Yeah.
You still got Francois.
Yeah.
Who's the deal. We still got the kid, I believe his name is Alex from the Silk City kid, lineman. So that's 2 secured. You know, I'm sure his brother played at Rutgers is in the league now. Younger brothers now at Bosco. I'm sure those guys step up and like you said, Granitel, but I don't pay you when you haven't put in no work yet. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the only reason. Like those guys at Bergen, Kaj, you named them all. They put in the work already. So
I got you.
I would
Yeah.
never discount Sabella because I think he's gonna out scheme most coaches.
Right.
9
That's
out
where
of
I
10
was gonna
coaches.
go with it.
Second half of the season, get low. You don't want to see them. But that's just my reason. So let's just.
So
So
let's
just keep going down.
Let's keep going. What we
Okay.
at,
All right. So
Joe?
we're gonna start from 10 and go down.
Where?
Go up.
You wanna go up or go down?
Well, we already talked about Boston,
I mean,
Joe's.
well, we
What
talked
we
about
got?
Well, we at
got
Joe's now.
Okay. 2 was Joe's. I was personally, I was kind of iffy on that one. You know what I'm saying? And I'm iffy on that because I'm being true to why Bergen's number 1. If you go to bed a loser, you wake up a loser. Joe's was 6 and 5. I don't care who they got coming back or whatever. You got to win, right? I'm real big on. I'm not giving you nothing until you earned it. I don't care what names you got, right? They got studs. They got dudes.
It's a difference when you talk about the experience part. So when those guys, like some of those guys went through freshman football, right? And then they started on varsity as sophomore, so they was babies. So like you said, that's what you're going to get, a 6 and 5 record. But watching them come out, I know everybody say, oh, T-shirts and shorts, right? That's what you're going to say? But they were flying around. You know what I'm saying? They definitely was flying around. They bring back the guys. You know, we got Rosenall, we got Jameer Joseph, we got Nate Bailey that we talked about. They got the big transfer with full quarterback. They got JoJo.
Jaden
Come on, keep going.
Train,
Tra-
Foster.
That's Foster. That's what I'm talking about in that class. I was naming that
You
class.
got the tight
John
end.
Foster.
I mean, it's going to be his first year,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
that's, you
it's
still
2
got
of
to
Brady
account for
Schust
him.
and the other guys. But
So it's
Spencer,
almost,
That's
I don't
okay.
know. Only thing my concerns is we named all the skill powerhouses, right? You said something before. For me, you said something about like how you felt like Makai don't get the love that he's supposed to get as a receiver, right? And if you look, like one thing about me is his times has always been his times, right? So when he was, 8th grade, Temple Camp, 4.6.
Makai who?
Rosenall.
Okay.
Rosenall. He ran a 4.6 as a receiver, right? I don't want to go backtrack, but that's the same thing I'm talking about as far as the times, and we're talking about different places, right? But a dog is a dog, right? You take him, y'all big receivers going this year. He come back too. He's a senior this year. The tall basketball guy.
No, he graduated.
He graduated?
Yeah,
Oh, so it's over. Okay.
Oh no, they got 2 6'6". They got 2 other 6'6".
They got
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
more
We got, yeah.
receivers?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, tight end.
So, all
Tight
right,
end
so let me
and
ask
Jimmy.
you
You got
this.
Jimmy. He's
So we're
over
training the
6'8".
backfield, Foster in the slot. So where do everybody play at?
Foster don't play the slot. He
Foster's
only plays
in the
sometime when
backfield.
Train is there. Nate is the slot.
Nate is a slot. Okay. So Train, Foster, and then Sumter. What's Sumter play?
He backs up Train. What's the same way with Luke Tucci?
Oh, so he's the new
Same.
Luke Tucci.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now, Nate one slot. Who's the other slot?
She would know
Jimmy.
better than me.
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Makai.
Outside, Rosenall, and
Yeah.
then who else?
Javon
JoJo.
JoJo.
Oh, one,
JoJo.
number one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why they number 2 for me.
For her. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this. What is it like up front, though?
They go ahead, TT.
So if I had a concern, that's where my concern would be. But I think that it would be fine. And
Okay, now, so that's kind of big right there. That's kind of big right there. So defense, we
I
solid.
have to see it. That's kind of I'm going with what Lenny said as far as I have to
Okay,
see it. They're
that is
young, right? They
They
are.
ain't no excuse no more. They ain't young no more.
No, because
They
No,
all
some
went
of
through
the
last
linemen-
year. They
Alright,
all
so-
went through last year.
Some of the linemen, I do believe they have some sophomores.
One sophomore.
And-
The rest
Okay.
of them is everybody from last
and
year.
believe it or not, coach is on the hot seat with this one. This year right here, this is a hot seat year.
Yeah.
You giving me new news.
Yeah.
You giving me news.
I mean, I ain't get this from the school, and I don't want them to be saying, keep it a buck got me in a hot seat. It's hot seat year because it's do or die for Joe's. I'm saying this right now. If Joe's don't win,
the whole thing?
they gotta win.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
We just said Bergen's the number 1 team.
That's what we said.
Oh, so you ain't really believe that.
I'm
So
saying.
now we getting into something else. So you ain't really believe that. You just talking. You chatting, as we say in New York. You chatting.
No, I'm saying I'm looking at
Is there or ain't there? You stuttering?
He's
What's up?
saying
Hold
that
up,
with
you
everything
check-
that they have, if
It
you
should
do
be-
what you
they have the
have
right
to
to
do.
TT, let that man speak for himself.
I got
said
you.
it. Say it again. Say it again.
I
Say
got
what you
you.
said again.
I got you. With everything that they have, they are supposed to win.
So
if you
I
coach
think
them
that
the right way, if
I
they
think
show
that
up
maybe
the right
MetLife.
way,
Maybe MetLife.
if they show up
But
the right
I don't
way,
think
But
they
coach them
Joe,
the right
but
way.
coach gotta win.
Yes.
I think get to MetLife. I don't think you.
Oh,
gotta-
get to MetLife.
And the
Get to
quarterback,
MetLife.
you
Yeah,
got your quarterback.
I got
Now, like,
Bergen to
we
win.
can't leave Grusa out of here. You know what I mean? Like, you have to give respect for the young boy. He's
not young.
He's a senior, but I mean, he's a young.
He's seasoned.
Right. You're gonna go in there, and he's gonna take some chances that some other quarterbacks wouldn't take.
Gotcha.
And
So I'm glad you come
now you got what you call a train. You got Daddy Train,
Yeah, Daddy Train and Uncle Foster.
Uncle Foster.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean.
it.
And then
we got
you got everybody islands. You got them on islands.
You got the Razi Island and you know.
in the JoJo Island.
There
All
you
right,
go.
so I guess now that we talked about that, I'll get into, you know me, I say, like, I nitpick, right? Mm-hmm. How'd they lose to St. Peter's last year?
So I would, yes, they have to finish. They have to finish.
Let's not wrap that up and finish, right? Let's go back through that.
Finish. The word is
Okay,
finish.
so in that finish, right? That's the macro. Let's go into the micro.
Okay.
What happened when they was up almost 3 scores in the fourth quarter? Do you remember what took place to get that loss?
Yes, Jalen Speedy Klein. I will say that. I think that they got to finish.
So we established that 2 onside kicks for St. Peter's and a fake punt, right? All led to points, right?
Right.
They was up by, I think, almost 4 scores against DePaul in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And won that by 3.
Right.
Do you remember what happened there?
I don't recall.
I'll help you out. I'll help you out. Onside, Grusa. Onside, Grusa.
Grusa.
Onside, Grusa. How many times I need to keep saying onside? Right? We're starting to notice a theme, right? So we can talk about young, right? Oh, they was young. Or maybe systematically, they aren't prepared for it.
How do they get prepared?
That's not my job.
Wait, no. But how do they get prepared?
So let me just tell you why I'm saying that.
How are they supposed to get prepared?
That's why I said hot seat.
How are they supposed to get prepared?
I'm asking questions.
No,
You go ahead.
you answer that question. How are they supposed to get prepared? Because I'm connecting the dot, your dot to your dot, and then what I said. That's what I said.
I don't know. How do they get prepared?
They have to be coached.
Okay, cool.
That's how you
I'm just-
don't make me say it.
I'm just throwing some things out there, right?
But it is what it is, and
so
I
these are
do
the things,
respect
right?
them, and I do think that I trust that the coaches are going to do what they have to do.
See, now you're apologizing.
No, I'm not apologizing at all.
It's a little
I
tougher.
see, like you said, I watch it, I see it, I believe that they're going to do. You learn from your mistakes.
Okay.
You know, you got to you learn from
Now
your
the
mistakes.
fake field goal.
Hold on.
Yeah,
No.
So, it's
So there's a theme, right? That's what I'm trying to point out to
But
y'all.
that goes back to what you said.
Yeah.
That connects to what you said.
There's a theme, and it wasn't just last year. Special teams has been awful at Joe's for a while now. You know what I'm
HS.
saying? So I'm gonna place that there because I'm gonna say this is Big North.
Okay.
And you don't just blow out everybody, right? So, like I started this by saying, I don't do these rankings or nothing and just shoot teams. I've sat at some of these practices. And what I loved when I was at Bergen's practice is I seen them practice situational football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That practice started with the special teams out there, the kicking team, onside kicks left, how to recover them, guys covering them up. You get what I'm saying? Onside kick right, recovery, guys covering them up. A few times, back and forth.
We don't want to tell someone.
Okay, no, but
Yeah.
I'm just talking about my admiration for systematically. This is regular football, bro.
Well, I
This ain't no
know.
fucking secret. And if it's a secret, then there's a problem. If you don't do this, then there's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't want to say I trust in the coaches, Joe's coaches, do what he got to get done. Bergen, we'll see you at MetLife. That's how it's gonna go.
Last time a kid did that from Joe's, Bosco ran it up on him. When Jalen Berger was there junior year, Kyle Monunga ran for almost 200-some yards. The Rivera kid got up there and said he's not worried about Bosco.
But these are
Yeah.
these are the teams on your list I want you not to sleep on. So we could.
Well, let's go through the list.
we're gonna
Okay.
go keep going.
So,
All right.
So let me just state my concerns.
oh,
All
yeah,
right, so let me move on. Joe's is number 2. My concerns with that are you know, how are you going to address the small things, right? The small things being tackling, special teams, clock management. Because we know you got the talent, right?
Right.
But there's going to be other teams, and I'm going to talk about like Bergen, that work on and take pride in these things. And in the Big North, Toll showed you a long time ago. That's the difference between winning and losing sometimes.
Yeah.
The specials. Can you kick a 30-yard field goal? Can you onside kick, right? To steal possessions? Can you recover one, right? So that, you know, yeah, you asked me to do something, let me do it, man.
No,
Fair
I
enough.
said that.
You, I feel like
We're going to move on.
different words, same.
But so again, that's my concern with them as a number 2. I don't have those concerns with Bergen as a number 1.
Okay.
So for that, I could have put DePaul at number 2, which is the number 3 team. I could have put DePaul there.
DePaul, now, for me, for DePaul to be ranked that high, I think I'm not saying they're not deserving of it, right? But they ain't did nothing to get that high, right? They bang out, they bang out. You know what I'm saying? They catch the close loss, stuff like that. But for them to be, I'm expecting them to do big things, but then you gotta have to show me right there, right? Like, I'm not picking and choosing who I need for them to show me, but they're definitely a team that gotta show me the number 3 team in the state.
That's what this is, the Show Me podcast. So I agree with that. Like, I mean, I felt DePaul was really high because I felt like the things you guys are excited about, Joe's about, I feel like it's the same thing over at DePaul.
I agree.
They bringing back everything from a state championship team, and yes, they didn't win none of the games against
The Group
4s, right? They didn't win none of those. But like you said, they were competitive in a lot of those games, and a lot of those teams lost stuff, and they didn't lose much. They actually added stuff, you know. They got a linebacker from Bosco, you know. They got a tailback from Bosco.
They got an offensive line.
Yeah, big line. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at Bergen, right? Bergen and Joe's line probably averages about 6'3" across the board. Bergen, everybody know Nair is 6'8", but everybody else on their line is like 6'1". You know what I'm saying? 6'2", 6 feet.
Oh, word?
Yeah. But again, they're going to execute. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, when
It's
you
a
talk
drought
about
right now.
when you talk about lines, Paramus Catholic and DePaul, you know, and even St. Peter's, right? Those guys are walking around with like 6'4", 6'5", 6'7". You know what I'm saying?
Who got
I get
6'4", 6'5", 6'7"?
I'm hearing St. Pete. Well,
They just picked up some new transfers?
nah. You have the kid that committed
That's an D tackle.
to Fordham. Not the Stanford kid.
Okay.
To Fordham. They got the
Okay,
6'7" kid, right?
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know off the rip.
Xavier 6'4", right?
Yeah.
Cooper or something.
Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, Xavier 6'4", and then they got 2 more 6'6" kids.
Okay. That's probably new. I don't
Now
know.
again, I'm not saying that these kids are, and even for PC, even for DePaul, I'm not saying that these kids are studs or lights out. I'm just saying they passed the eye test. But what I am saying about Bergen kids is that size, they can move. They're gonna move furniture. You get what I'm saying? So the size looks good for the optics, but at the end of the day, if they washing you down the line, all that size it just look good in the warm-up line. So again, DePaul does have that though, on both lines. Then we all know the skill guys. We could do the same thing we just did for Joe.
Yeah.
So, and I just don't feel like they have that same deficiency when it comes to specials. I feel like in this league, it's gonna come down a lot of time because at the end of the day, if you got a high potent offense like St. Peter showed, we're gonna keep them off the field. We're gonna keep them off the field, and we're gonna see what your defense can really do.
Where you at now? Seton Hall?
So are you saying that? So you're saying DePaul shouldn't be so high?
I think they're a good team. I just think that, people sleep. You gonna laugh again, but people sleeping on the Del Bartons.
I'm not laughing.
Bro.
I'm not laughing.
I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go to them when it's time to go to them.
We know a little something more than what you know, but we're gonna go with that. So for me, DePaul would be 2. You know what I'm saying? And Joe's would be 3.
Oh.
I could see why you would do that, but
next up is Seton Hall Prep at 4.
Seton Hall, that's a big sleeper. That's a sleeper. Big time sleeper. They're gonna shock a lot of people. Fitz is that dude. He another one that I respect in the game. And then with the McLean show, obviously the McLean brothers.
My linebacker staff is serious.
Then they got the young boy Caden Davis, the quarterback.
He's not the quarterback. Your boy
No,
Liam. We're not talking about Liam did it. Liam is the quarterback.
No, what I'm saying is, shout out to Liam and my boy, the receiver as well.
Julius.
Julius is my dude. But Liam is going to lead the way for the young boy to get to see it, and it's going to make his path even easier.
But we talking about the rankings. Nah, it's like you're trying to do like.
All right. So Seton Hall Prep, I felt like that's a good spot for him.
I do too.
But I feel like that should have been DePaul's spot.
You feel like okay? Wait, so who? Okay.
So
I guess
he
you're
was.
gonna
So
tell
he
us who
was
should have
taking.
been your third son, right?
Man,
We'll get there, right? All right. Where you going?
I like them for 4.
All right.
I like them for 4.
I'm cool with it. I don't have no objections to it.
Yeah, I like them for 4.
Yeah.
I heard this
Go ahead.
could be, I don't know, rumored or not, but McLean may be hitting on the offense side, getting on the offense for. Do you remember that for BCL? What did that look like?
Yeah. For me, I always saw that he was going to be a defensive guy. I thought but watching him in high school now as an older dude, he could do whatever he put his mind to.
So I think that McLean, Seton Hall Prep is not an extremely deep team, right? So you got to get the most out of the guys you got. So I think that's a no-brainer. But like, we talking about that, then we also got to double back down and say, Kaj is a starting running back for Bergen Catholic. Kaj Sanders will be starting safety and starting
That's
running
why
back.
when you put that little thing, I had thought in my head, I said, Kaj going both ways. Then they get a new running back step in, which is Mujahid Russell, right? But it's not the same as the kid that they had a year ago that was a bruiser.
Saeed?
None of them are bruisers like that. They both good backs, but Saeed was he'd take a lot of punishments for people or giving punishments. What I mean by wearing people down. I see it's gonna be a lot of finesse game with Bergen.
So I would agree, but this is what I'll say to that. Vito, shout out to the coaching staff there, because you get some coaches that are hell-bent on making kids fit their system. He's got the ability to adapt his system to the talent he has.
Copy.
And he's going to use those guys where they're successful. Like, Saeed was successful there, so that's where they did, right? You know what I'm saying? Kaj and them got different skill sets, because that's not Kiddos, so Saeed can never run as fast as Kaj. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, there's gonna be some give and take. Now we start talking about what I did see, and I won't give that up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they're gonna put him in position to be successful. Okay. So that's Seton Hall Prep.
Seton Hall,
5 down
number 4.
Bosco Prep.
We talked about Bosco.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could be there. Go ahead. What's the next one?
What you feel?
Yeah.
About right?
It's about right. Just again, I feel like you got to.
That's a safe number for them. No one knows.
Yeah.
They're the unknown.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Okay. Del Barton at 6.
That's what I'm saying. But I don't want to make this a big deal. Del Barton always with my guys. I felt Del Barton should have been a little higher than that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Where I think you felt 3.
Probably 4, 3, something like that.
So this is the only reason why I believe they have talent that's coming in, but I think what happened last year, and last year they did show some things.
Joe's beat Del Barton last year?
Yes, and they're not gonna play. All the teams are not gonna play with you like that. They're not gonna play. They're gonna play Del Barton like they're playing Bergen. And
I can agree with that. Last year, I think that
even
I slept. Even I slept.
Yeah. I think that last year they looked at them. They probably didn't get their respect.
Historically, Del Barton wasn't just like Seton Hall Prep. Seton Hall Prep catches a lot of people because people just don't see them.
Yes, they better not sleep on them this year.
So this is the thing with Del Barton.
They know now, and the same
people
thing.
know, like, okay,
they're not going to do it.
This is a real situation,
right?
Now. But you got to think like people remember. Did you win? Right? When you start going through that, when is the last one? So that's the thing. I slept on Del Barton. And by the end of the season, I had to sing a different tune.
And it may be.
And the kids are well aware. Like, they ain't nobody to play with no more. You know what I'm saying? Seton Hall Prep is let people know.
Your number 17.
Ain't nobody to play with.
Your number 17 definitely know all about that.
All right. So number 7.
We talked about them, but
Number 7 is St. Peter's. What
St.
you feel
Peter's.
about that?
No. They just,
Is that a good place?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Good
That's
one.
perfect. I'm thinking.
You picked PC though to beat them.
I sure did.
So then you can't be. That's perfect.
No. I thought PC was higher than that, but. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? PC is one of them schools that still got to show everybody. They lost to Pope John 2 years in a row.
I would have put PC a lot higher based on talent. I agreed with them being 8 just because of what you said. It's just like, yo, I'm going in because I know y'all out there.
On some real, they still got to beat Pope John this year.
Yeah. I couldn't keep them out the top 10, but I said, I'm gonna put them and let them know. We know you there. You know what I'm saying? Now go play your way up. You know what I'm saying? But I'd hate to have them out knowing that they're capable of what they're capable of.
No, I got you. And then, like, I see you got, what's number 9?
Red Bank
Catholic. That's going to it's gonna be another good game with them. I think DePaul going to wash them.
You do?
I do. I feel that way. I feel like it's not even going to be close. Not saying it's not going to, I take that back because people use me as a hype video or some stuff.
They used me. You had your boys make a whole hype video on me.
I didn't mean that. I'm saying I got DePaul for the win. That's what I'm saying.
Well, they played Bergen this year too.
Doug Barton opens up. I mean, Red Bank opens up.
Red Bank can't play. They play Bergen.
And I'm gonna be honest. I ain't sleeping on them, bro. I ain't sleeping on them.
Is my wide receiver dude still in?
Yes.
Is this his senior year?
They have a good linebacker course too, man.
Yes.
Man, they got.
And they got another receiver too. So they got some. Oh yeah.
This will be interesting.
I take that back. It's gonna be interesting, and they're gonna be upset that DePaul beat them a year ago. So we might have something going on here.
I think game 1 we're gonna see. Red Bank.
I take that back. I recant my statement. That's what I'm saying. Let me see. And then
Donovan Catholic.
Now,
do you feel they should have been there or Pope John should have been there?
Probably Pope should have got Donovan.
You think?
I really do. I wish Donovan and Pope probably could have played.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be good too.
But the way I saw Pope, those guys that they got right there is going to be ready to play. The Wesley kid, the Hill, the quarterback that commit, the kid SP, Sir Paris. They got some guys, man. Kuzak. So that's what I was looking at, man. So that's our wrap up with that.
I mean, that's our wrap. So
I got a question, and I know we just want a prediction.
But shout out to Donovan Catholic too.
Shout out to Donovan Catholic, Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas. That kid is a beast, dog. Yeah.
They got a freshman running back. He was a freshman last year. He'll be a sophomore this year. He's pretty tough too. But go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so put it on the record. Who do you see at MetLife? And yes, you don't know anything. You're going in blind.
Champions or MetLife?
MetLife. Who do you see? The 2 teams.
That's a big jump right now. So I throw mine out. I throw it out right now. It could. Can I get just 2? It might be
group 4, and then I guess
it's gonna be Joe. We already know that. Right. Joe's and Bergen, or it could be a Seton Hall prep. Sleep up in there. I'm not gonna give Del Barton any props right away right now. But I can see like, real talk, do not count PC out. That's all I'm saying. Do not count PC out. They back living. This could definitely be something.
Yeah, they better be. Because I'm feeling like you too. And if they don't live this year, they dying from here on out.
And I know we got into a long show of the privates. We'll come back next time. We'll definitely highlight everything about our public schools and things like that. It just took over the time, and because this is interesting right here.
Yeah, it's a lot.
To see that. So shout out to all the publics. I don't want to think y'all forgot about y'all.
Absolutely.
So this is a preseason pick, keeping in mind that we don't know how these brackets play out, right? Because things can happen in the season that will have Joes and Bergen on the same side of the bracket going into the playoffs, right? So we don't know how these things happen, right? So I feel like Nas with Prems Catholic as a dark horse. I do. I feel like that. I definitely feel like Bergen is there. However, I feel like if Bergen stumbles out the blocks early in regards to overlooking, which I can see happen, and that's why I'm saying it on the show, overlooking a Red Bank, overlooking an Iona Prep to look at the other guys, it can put them on a trajectory that they can't recover from. I feel like I think Joe's has the talent too, right? And it's unfair that I give Paramus a dark horse and not Joe's because they got the same issues, right? They got the same issues. They had the talent too. But I just feel like they're not going to make it. And I feel like they're not going to make it because when it gets cold later in the year and you've beaten some of these teams already and you could double back around to the playoffs, what I've noticed from those guys, and I don't know if they've grown out of it yet, they play to the level of competition of what they think you are. Seen it in 7-on-7s this year. I even basically heard from you in their own scrimmage, right? Because the offense has been so potent that they overlooked their defense, and their defense came out and gave them everything. And that's a maturity thing. You gotta winning teams. You know, a lot of those kids come from Brick City. You boat race teams. If they're not built to be there, then you get rid of them. And if they're built to be there, then y'all just battle into the end. But it's the same mindset. I know Bergen has that mindset. That's called a winning culture, winning attitude. I don't know if those guys got it. So I can easily see a scenario where, and again, we don't know how the polls line up. I can see a scenario easily where it's Bergen Del Barton. I can see that scenario.
Okay, so you know that about that Del Barton.
I don't think they're as loaded as some of the other teams, but I think you're getting everything that they got. You're getting the most out of what they got, and they're not going to beat themselves. And I'm sorry, you know, I can only judge you by the last time I saw you, and the last time that I saw Joe's, they were underachieving. The last time I saw Paramus Catholic, they were underachieving. The last time I saw Seton Hall Prep, they were overachieving. The last time I saw Del Barton, they were overachieving. Last time I saw Bergen, they were the standard. So that's just what it is.
Gotcha. Anything else you want to leave with?
Well, I guess I'll go with my own. I'm going to say
Okay, oh yeah.
Bergen.
Okay.
And St. Joe's. If I had to choose a dark horse, I would say, or someone since everybody did like a substitution.
Yeah, do your thing.
I would go Seton Hall.
Seton Hall what? Joe's again?
No, Seton Hall Bergen.
So my thing,
Seton Hall Bergen.
I think that I'm excited for this year because I don't think it's cut and dry clear.
Oh, so you got Bergen going regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cut and dry. I think we just gotta give them that because they got a winning culture.
Yeah, you just gotta give
until they show us something different.
I'm gonna give them the respect of, you know, right now they're the person to beat, but I will tell you, just like you said, everybody needs to play everyone like they're playing Bergen or anyone else.
Anybody can get it.
Anybody
I truly believe
can
that.
get it.
I truly believe that.
Gotcha.
And it needs to be, whoever you're playing needs to be lights out for that, whoever it is that you're playing. But somebody gotta lose. So.
Got you, man. On that note,
Another episode of Keep It a Buck.
Peace.